I'm sure a lot of people have seen the clips of Caleb McLaughlin doing spin jutsu and instantly thought to themselves, oh, he's gonna play Miles Morales, he's gotta play Miles Morales and stuff. But I'm here to tell you in this video that I don't think Caleb would be a good match. Now, before any of you click off, I'm a Caleb McLaughlin fan. I love him as Lucas in Stranger Things and just some of his other works. Like recently, he played Will in the GOAT movie, and I thought he did an amazing job. It's great. But I don't think he would be a great Miles Morales, and it's not so much that his acting capabilities suck or that he can't pull off a good Miles. Right now, it's kind of split because you have people who are voice crack, sorry. You have people who are on the side of, oh, he should play Miles because he looks the part and he can act well as Miles. And then you have people who don't want him to play Miles, and then you have people who don't want him to play Miles because they think, he's not African Latino, and then you have people who are like, oh, he should play Miles because it doesn't matter that much. Me, I was never on any of those sides. I'm just on the side that I don't think him playing Miles in 2026, 2027, whenever they decide to bring Miles into the MCU or start like a live action Miles Morales movie, TV show, whatever. I don't think he should play Miles because the guy is way too old to play Miles, let's be honest. I mean, from his work of Stranger Things or on Stranger Things, he did phenomenal as Lucas, and it makes sense why a lot of people would want him to play Miles Morales, obviously. But one of the main things that I hated about Stranger Things, like just overall going forward, like throughout the series, is that by season 4 or even season 5 as latest, if you want to take that, season 5 of Stranger Things, a lot of the actors, and no offense to them, like their acting capability or whatever, but a lot of the actors grew out of these roles, and I don't think they played these roles as well as they could have, because it was also just hard for me to immerse myself in the world, because seeing Caleb McLaughlin, Lucas, quote unquote, he looks like a grown man. He doesn't look his age when I think in season 5 he's like 16, 17, 18. He's supposed to be around my age. Caleb looks a little bit more older than Lucas. And Lucas is 16. And if you're gonna introduce Miles, you can't make Miles around the same age as Peter because nobody likes that. I don't like it. And you also can't make Miles a little bit too young. In my opinion, Miles is around that time where he's 13, 14, 15. I know probably in some of the modern Miles Morales comics he's around 16 or 17, but I still can't see Caleb pulling it off because I just can't imagine, like, it's a grown ass man, bro. He has a beard, he has a deeper voice, like he is not fit for the role. And I don't mean physically or like, when I say fit, I just mean that the role wouldn't fit him as well, and I wouldn't be able to immerse myself seeing a 24 soon to be 25-year-old man playing Miles Morales, 13, 14, 16, whatever. Because if you're gonna go with the route where you're gonna introduce Miles and you're gonna do his origin story, he needs to be at least like a preteen or like an early stage teenager. But if you're gonna introduce Miles like in the MCU, and you're already gonna make it to where he's 15 or 16 or whatever, and that's when he becomes Spider-Man, even then, bro, Caleb, like, the max I could see him pull off, like, playing Miles, or he can pull it off, maybe, is maybe playing an aged up version of Miles, like 19 or 20, but him playing a 24-year-old man playing 17, 16, 14, 15, whatever year-old teenager just doesn't seem right with me, bro. It's the same thing with Shameik Moore when he, I think, made an announcement a few years ago that he'd be down to play a live-action Miles Morales. I love Shameik Moore despite some of his weird tendencies, but I love him as Miles in the Spider-Verse movies. But I do not see him playing Miles IRL. The man is 30 years old. If you're going to cast Miles, you need to cast a kid, which is one of the reasons why I think it's harder to find the perfect cast for Miles, because Miles in the comic books is young. He's not around Peter's age. I don't even think he's in his 20s yet. He's still a teenager. And again, the issue with comic books is like most characters don't age. They have a minimum, like Peter is around his 30s, 28 years old, something. Matt Murdock is probably also in his 30s. Like, you have a lot of comic book characters who stick with their ages and who have a distinct, like, just an age, the status quo age that they are. Miles is around 16, 17, or 15. Those are like, he's a teenager age range. And casting a teenager would be cool. You know, you can cast someone young who's maybe Afro-Latino, who's just Afro-American, whatever. You can cast somebody like Miles or as Miles, and you can have him play Miles for a while. But eventually he's gonna age out the character again because puberty hits, this hits, that hits. And then when he ages out of the character, you're gonna have to recast Miles, which is why it's kind of hard for me to be like, or to support certain fan casts, because I feel like if you're going to cast Miles in a universe that you want to last, especially after the MCU reboot, you want the universe to last long. They want to have a Spider-Man or two Spider-Men in that universe coexisting. You can't have a Miles who is already 19 while Peter is like in his early 20s. It's too close of an age gap. You also can't have Miles be super young. Oh, no, you can't have him be super young. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm stuttering. You can have him be super young, but then you need to have Peter who is like around his mid 20s or stuff, which I'm sure Tom Holland could still classify for that. But you see, I just don't think Caleb McLaughlin would make a good fit because he's too old for the role, bro. And no hate to Caleb. Again, I'm sure he's physically capable of playing Miles. I'm sure he would love to play Miles. He's made interviews talking about how he's passionate about playing Miles. But honestly, when it comes to Miles Morales' casting, they should cast someone who's younger and someone who can look the part as well. I don't think the whole Afro-Latino part is like that big of a deal. Like, sue me maybe, but if you want to work with that logic, like, oh, he needs to be Afro-Latino, well, you have Namor. Namor is played by, I'm pretty sure, like, he's not Mexican or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't want to be racist, but Namor isn't the, oh no, better yet, Pedro Pascal. Reed Richards in the comics is just a white male, while Pedro Pascal, I'm pretty sure, is like Mexican or Hispanic. He's Latino. So why are people not getting angry at that? Or same thing with Tom Holland Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield, they're both British actors and they're from London or they're from the UK, you know, and they play American superheroes with an accent. Like the whole, oh, he needs to be Afro-Latino part just doesn't work for me. If they want to cast Miles, cast an unknown actor or just a kid, a regular kid who's maybe around 13, 14, like young age, so he could still play Miles for a solid few years before they recast him eventually. Because, bro, age is a tricky thing, and that's what's the problem when casting young comic book characters, in my opinion, is because when you cast a character for like Captain America or whatever, like it doesn't matter. He can play Captain America for 10 years probably because he still looks the part, and Captain America is what, like 109 years old or something. But if you cast a character who is a teenager, teenagers grow. They don't stick to one age. They might in comic books, but in real life, it will eventually ruin the immersion because you'll see a grown-ass man playing a freaking 14-year-old kid or a 15-year-old kid, and it looks weird. Especially when you look at teenagers IRL, they don't look like that. So it's like, what's going on? Anyways, that's all I want to talk about for today. Again, I want to make it clear I'm not hating on Caleb McLaughlin or his acting capabilities. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He's one of my favorites out of Stranger Things cast. I just think he wouldn't be a good fit for Miles. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Peace.
All I'm trying to do is not cause any delay. I said I finna drop, but I'ma need you to wait. I'm chilling at my spot, but getting super late. I'm trying to climb the top, but it's way too